We're wiping the slate clean on historical biases. When a traditional European powerhouse lines up against a modernized tactical unit, the name on the front of the shirt often masks what's actually happening on the pitch. For the casual viewer, the Netherlands are the obvious pick. They've just racked up 10 goals in the group stage, with forwards like Cody Gakpo delivering exactly the kind of attacking flair fans expect from the Dutch. Across the pitch, Morocco has established itself as a tournament heavyweight. Their performance data shows a level of consistency and game management that moves them past the era of being a simple bracket buster. This leaves you with a very real dilemma. Do you back the overwhelming, on-paper individual talent of the Netherlands, or do you trust the disciplined, in-game execution of Morocco? Look at this quadrant chart mapping the final 32 teams. We track attacking output vertically against defensive consistency horizontally. The Dutch sit extremely high up, reflecting massive offense. But Morocco operates with a reliable defensive block the Netherlands lacks. Past World Cup glory won't decide this match. It comes down to which side can exploit the specific positional mismatches scattered across the field. Let's start at the back. On paper, the Dutch defensive lineup looks spectacular. They rely on highly offensive-minded center backs. You have players like Virgil van Dijk not just breaking up play, but actively stepping up and commanding the final third to create massive overloads. Add in fullbacks like Denzel Dumfries, who essentially operate as secondary playmakers, and you have a backline directly fueling the attack. But there's a steep cost. Pushing your defenders that high leaves vast tracts of empty, exploitable grass behind them the moment possession turns over. And that is exactly what Morocco is built to punish. With elite wingbacks like Achraf Hakimi, they launch disciplined, rapid counterattacks straight into those unprotected channels. Looking at this matrix, we'll give the sheer output edge to the Netherlands, but it comes with a massive warning label. Their transitional vulnerability is a severe liability against this exact Moroccan setup. Moving into the center of the pitch, the Dutch bring a familiar profile of raw pace, physical balance, and big-name experience. Morocco answers with a completely different philosophy. Their midfield doesn't try to outmuscle you. They prioritize technical possession and immense composure on the ball. They use specific playmakers like Brahim Diaz to neutralize high pressing systems simply by creating their own space and letting the opposition run themselves out of position. To link it all together, Ismail Saibari has emerged as a relentless box-to-box engine, providing the stamina needed to drive those rapid transitions from defense to attack. The risk for Morocco here is razor-thin margins. Relying heavily on positional intelligence over brute strength means a single sloppy touch in the center circle can break the entire sequence. Back to the matrix. Morocco's ability to dictate the tempo and force their identity onto the game earns them a measurable advantage in the engine room. When we evaluate the final third, the sheer volume of the Dutch attack is hard to ignore. Their true strength lies in unpredictability. They aren't relying on one player. Goal contributions are arriving from multiple positions all over the pitch. That variety is anchored by Brian Brobbey playing centrally. His physical presence occupies defenders, opening up vital pockets of space for the wingers to exploit. The issue is those wingers run hot and cold. As talented as they are, brief dry spells can entirely stall the primary Dutch game plan. Contrast that with Morocco, where the attack heavily relies on singular flashes of individual brilliance to win games. They lack the wide-ranging threat the Dutch carry. Updating the matrix for the attack. Despite occasional inconsistencies, the depth and variety of the Netherlands' forward line gives them a distinctly higher floor for generating goals. Now for the off-pitch variables. The Netherlands brings an undeniable atmospheric boost, with the Orange Army generating serious momentum in the stands. But the real dividing line in this matchup sits right on the touchline, the management. Ronald Koeman faces scrutiny for his reliance on a reputation built decades ago as a player. The argument is that his tenure lacks the recent high-level tactical proof of concept needed to match today's most organized units. Morocco's manager took over very recently, yet he already has a clear tactical pulse on his squad. He's rapidly instilled a modern, cohesive identity that translates directly onto the pitch. Morocco's manager has already demonstrated he can transition this specific group from being the hunters to the hunted. Meanwhile, the Dutch pipeline continues to trust names from the past, even when those systems fail to adjust in real time. For our final matrix row, the edge goes to Morocco. In modern tournament football, systemic coaching cohesion reliably exploits teams that prioritize individual player brilliance over collective organization. Let's weigh the final trade-offs. On the left, the Netherlands' attacking volume. On the right, Morocco's structural high ground. If you believe offensive talent outscores defensive errors, the Netherlands is your high-reward pick. If you prioritize tactical control, Morocco is the superior value play. Morocco has evolved into a sophisticated unit that manages games with high-level efficiency. They are positioned to exploit the exact tactical gaps left open by a Dutch system that still prioritizes individual brilliance over collective organization.